Hello, my name is Amy Hollan, and I am the kindergarten teacher at Jackson Independent School in Jackson, Kentucky. This is probably the 6th or 7th grant that I've received, but this is probably one of my favorites. It's called Letters Alive. And I purchased Letters Alive. What it is an interactive docking cam. Children use cards that they place on the docking cam, and the cards come alive, and you can manipulate the cards, and they can say, like, if their letter has a C on it, they put it down, it has a cow on it, it has the letter C, and it says seek, seek, and then the cow can actually jump off the screen, or the letters jump off the screen to the children. They can also build, after they build words, they build letters, they use the letters, and then they build words out of the letters, and then they have sight words that they can build sentences out of. The beginning of the year, I had 3 weeks before I retired, and I finished out those years in those 3 weeks in my kindergarten classroom. So I started Project Read, letter videos, memory games, hand-on activities. You know, we used Play-Doh, we used sensory motor activities to try to learn the letters and the sounds. Children learn to write the letters fine, but the sounds and the identification of the letters, not so much. I left and had retired, and they could not find anyone to replace me, so they asked me to come back to finish out the year, and I arrived in December, and so did the Letters Alive. Here shows you a picture of what it actually looks like. See, I mentioned the letter C. It has a C, and you put the card down on this little docking cam, and then the computer shows the C up here at the top. And you click one of these buttons, and it will say the sounds, the letter name, and you can do upper or lowercase letters. And then after you've learned all the letters, then you can take the letters and put them together. And once the cards actually touch, it will say the words. Right now, it'll say cat, but when you put them all together, it'll blow cat. And the kids would try to beat the computer at sounding out the words. When I arrived back in my classroom, there were 30 students. 5 of them knew every letter and sound. That was on December the 2nd. So we started 3 weeks of intensive just letters, 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 letters with the Letters Alive. And children loved it. We used it in groups. We used it in whole group. We used it in small groups. And the children were allowed to practice the letters until they had that they had not mastered. You see this little boy right here. He has these 3 letters that he's practicing at the docking cam, and he just does them over and over and over again, and he gets to manipulate them. The little girl's practicing the same. And on the side of here, you see I set up a chart, and we would test them with just flashcards. You know, which letters you know, which sounds you know, and we'd say, okay, here's your letters you know, here's the sounds you know, the ones that aren't highlighted are the ones you don't know. So you need to go practice these. And they'd come up to you and they'd say, I need to practice this letter right here and this letter right here, because they didn't know the names. And then they would come up and say, I know what a W is, and I know what a Q is, but I don't know what sounds they make. So I need to practice these. And it made them take charge of their own learning. Here's a video of some of the students actually using it during center times. It'll flip in a minute.
You. You. It's your choice to get out of that time. You. You.
Sound.
You. You.
And they would work in pairs. Sometimes there was 3 of them. Sometimes I let them pretend you're the teacher, you teach him. And then sometimes it would be, okay, now you're the student. And that gave them a sense of responsibility for their own learning, and then helped their classmates as well with their learning. Students absolutely loved Letters Alive. They responded better to the videos. They responded better to taking the initiative, teaching themselves. A lot of times children don't know how to study themselves. This program actually helped them learn how to study, because they were teaching themselves as well as I was teaching them. And it made them want to do it more, want them to put the responsibility on them to learn. You can see in this video, get my picture out of the way here. Here we go. Actually what the cam looks like. It's just like a regular docking cam, but it projects it differently. And this board here is where you place the letters. Now they could place one letter here, and then another letter here, here, and here, and practice them back and forth. Or they could actually build a word. Later on, once we learned all the basic letters and sounds, then we went to the long sounds and word families. Like there was one that had at on it, so you could put a B on it and make it bat. Add a C, make it cat. And then I'd say, how would you make this say hat? Well, you'd have to remove the C and add the H to make it hat. And we do the whole group. And then when they were at center time, they could go back and practice it themselves. And then also we had, we could build a sentence here as well with the words. You put the words here and it would show the sentence, and when you push them, they would touch, it would pop up on the screen here. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I really feel that every kindergarten teacher and preschool teacher out there needs to have this program in their classroom.